Okay. Off my soapbox now. This is called Little Girls Need Their Daddies Too by Washuntara. I'll bet you cry, Cynthia. Sitting on the front porch in her old rocking chair, I sat down beside her. She reached out her hand, she said, "Son, it's about that little girl in there. Lately I've been thinking, she's been thinking you don't care. You're a busy man, got a lot on your plate. And it's time I said what I need to say. Little girls need their daddies too. See them big eyes looking up at you. You're the kind of man she'll someday choose. Little girls need their daddies to be there. Show a little tenderness, comb her hair. Ask any woman, she'll tell you. Little girls need their daddies too. Son, you don't have to be so careful. You know that she ain't gonna break. Take her out on the job someday. Show her how to drive a nail. Teach her that she's capable and strong like you. Hold her tight when she cries. That's what daddy's meant to do. You know before too long she'll be up and gone. Son, I'm asking you to show her you know. Little girls need their daddies too. See them big eyes looking up at you. You're the kind of man she'll someday choose. Little girls need their daddies to be there. Show a little tenderness, comb her hair. Ask any woman, she'll tell you. Little girls need their daddies too. Son, I can't tell you how much that's true. And she said, this old girl is telling you. Little girls need their daddies too. Yeah, they need their daddies too. They need their daddies too. Yes, they do.
Woo!
You're the kind of man she'll someday choose.
You're the kind of man you someday will choose.
You're the kind of man you'll someday choose. They'll? You'll. I forgot. One of them. Anyhow, you know what I mean. That's the good news or the bad news.
Right, right. So it's important to have a daddy that's there and a male figure that's there.
It's important for the mum.
Yeah?
God, she didn't sign on to be mum and dad.
Yeah, but there's so many single moms.
I empathize. I empathize with you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, it's the most underrated. Yes, I do men's work, and the reason I do men's work is to make your jobs easier. It's the most underrated job in the world.
Being a mom.
My mum. This is my mum, right here. Sylvia Florence.
And you wear her wedding ring.
Yeah.
And on the wrong hand. Now,
Yeah.
tell us why.
Well, my mum passed on 24/7 last year. Well, that's the way she loved as well. She loved 7 days a week, 24 hours a day.
Oh.
And when she passed, I used the word past then rather than past. I'm turning into an American. My brother resized the ring for me and I popped it on my finger, and that's my tribute, my living tribute to my mum, Sylvia, right here on my finger.
Wow.
It's also, I wear this to have courage when I'm working, because I do men's work, yes, but the next thing, Becky, is that we have to integrate as men and women for so many reasons, and not on Facebook or not on Match.com.
We are sharing this with whoever turns us on right here.
You turned me on.
Yes, well, I'm glad that you came. Yes.
Thank you, honey.
Wow. Now let's talk a little bit more about the men's circle and older men. And I believe in Australia you have been helping older men in their transitions from being young lads to older to what do you do when you're 80? Can you explain a little bit about what's going on in Australia about that?
You bet. I started with my friend Mike Tarlow in Australia. I went, I've always worked with elders, because a society that ignores its elders does so at its own peril. Because the people that make the choices, where are we talking? The people that make the choices are often infantile and not making choices from a sovereign place. So there's any,
Kingly now.
Kingly.
Yes. Sovereign place.
Yeah. Well, look at America in the last, we've had 2 presidents, this one and the one before the last one, have both said that they've spent their presidency trying to impress their mum.
Oh, wow.
Because they grew up fatherless.
Huh.
So, you want to get to the point of it. That unfolds in many different formats, and one of the things that happens for older men as they get older, that not having the ability to communicate, to reach out and say, I need some help. Could somebody help me here? I'm alone. I'm lonely. My wife has died. She used to be in charge of the intimacy. She was the woman who did it all as far as feelings were concerned. In my grandfather's time, Jack, emotions didn't even exist, Beck. There was no such thing. How you feeling? I'm either angry or I'm happy. No grey.
Wow. Wow.
And these old fellas, a lot of them went to war. And they come back different men. The same as what's going on now, tragedies.
In Afghanistan.
We have never learned a damn thing. So, but anyhow, as they get older, the men find themselves isolated and lonely. And all that macho stuff about, I'm here to make the bucks. I'm here, goals. That works until you're 40. After that, you go, wow, not quite sure. Like I've got $1 million in the bank, or I've got nothing in the bank. Both have got problems. And 10 minutes and then we're done? Wow, that was quick. So anyhow, aged care. Social isolation and loneliness in old men in the society is terrible. Highest suicide rate in the country that I live, Australia, is men 70 years and older. Successfully top themselves.
Wow.
They don't muck around. Not like teenagers when they say, I'm going to kill myself, and then don't.
They really do it.
I'm not suggesting they really get it done. Their success rate is high.
Wow.
And so what we do is the Circle of Men Outreach is 5 days a week we go and work with men in aged care. And we have a group of men come together and simply share. It's not rocket science to touch another man, say, how you feeling? And sometimes men that haven't talked for years, Beck, will all be singing a little song, and they'll just all of a sudden start coming back into the world because they feel loved, they feel appreciated. And now the Australian government has climbed on board, and the Circle of Men Outreach is sponsored by the local councils and government, so they fund us and help to nurture the elderly men, because mostly aged care in America and Australia is run for women by women.
Right. You have women healthcare workers.
Yes.
Right.
Because they're the only ones that'll work for that wage.
Right. That's true.
Bottom line.
Yeah.
Which is a terrible thing, and you do a great job. Fabulous job. But the money ain't great.
So you go into the senior citizens' homes and talk to the men and have them sing songs? You get them to do it?
Communities. We make tribes.
How
a lot
do
of
they-
these men will live next to each other for years and never know each other's name. It's like, hey, brother, how you doing? We sit there and we've been knowing each other for 10 years, man, and we've never even said hello.
Oh, that's sad.
Sad, beyond sad. And out of 100 women, there would be 8, 9 men. And mostly they're just waiting.
God.
So we go in there and cheer them up.
And you sing songs with them?
We just do what I told you.
What?
Loving is not rocket science.
You just love them?
Just love them, touch them and love them.
That means
It's a whole new paradigm, and there's a book being written about the Circle of Men outreach right now. It's a new paradigm. What do? Nothing. We don't do a thing. We just turn up and are available. We're there to share with whatever they want to do. They're too old to be, going out and doing things. Their days of doing is over. Their days of being wise sovereigns. We could do well by listening to these old fellas. We've got our true teachers in aged care everywhere. If you want some wisdom, or if you're feeling a bit lost, instead of going to your psychiatrist, paying $150, go to your local, what do you call them here? Nursing home?
convalescent home?
Convalescent home. Say, is there anybody lonely would like me to talk to them? See how that feels. So that is my passion. You can see I love to work with it's the non-sexy end of life. It's also the non-sexy end of getting care.
It's like being back to being a baby because somebody has to wipe your butt and
That's
pick
how I
up
get
your
volunteers.
drool. And
when I stand up in front of, I'm doing the Rotaries, 5 minutes, great. When I do Rotary next week, I'll stand up and say, I need a volunteer to come up on stage, and I'd like to have to for me to wipe your butt.
oh, God.
Gets their attention, man.
God.
Because at some stage or other, these big suits and the perfect ties,
Yeah.
and both women as well in their power suits and ties,
Right.
it all goes away.
Right.
And what are you left with?
Wow.
You better have done some recovery.
Wow.
You better have done some recovery to know the condition of your soul.
Yes. I've seen, Sue, that I've run into a number of very successful financially men that at a certain point in their mid-40s or 50s, they got it all. Their marriages fell apart after 25 years, and now they're kind of back to square one going, what's it all about?
And worrying about their prostate.
And worry about their prostate, exactly. I've met a lot of men like that lately.
Yeah, well, welcome to life.
Yes, well, it's
it's
very interesting.
The BS goes away. Life will have its way.
Thank you very much for being with us today. And if people want to get more of your music, it's
Washuntara.com.
Washuntara.com.
Or on Facebook. Or you can grab it on YouTube. We've got 1 minute to go. Wow,
All right.
Wasn't she great? Isn't this fun? Being in transition.
Being in transition, stay tuned. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much. It's Becky Meagher. See you next time. Thank you.
Aloha.